out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning to Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad with me, in effect, as always. I got my brother, Vague, from BK. What's going on, fam?
Hey, man, I'm wrinkled up. Don't give a fuck. That rhymes.
All right. And we got my brother. Y'all should know where he's from. It's right there in the background. Queens. I don't know anybody who represents Queens or Morgan State probably more than this dude right there. Talk a little bit about this t-shirt. If you don't know about Kel, if you think I'm nice with the low, this dude is nice with the hip-hop record label t-shirts. Who's on your t-shirt right now, good brother? Red Alert, Mr. Magic, Chuck Shoutout, awesome too. Awesome too. But talk about that for a little bit, bro.
Just representing the pioneers of the radio, bringing hip-hop to radio. This matters the first on radio as far as like hosting and, out to bring a Shannon and to his crew to the airwaves, and Red Alert was after him, and Chuck Chill Out, awesome too. Stricken Barbito, followed up in the 90s, kind of branched off, and closed it out and stuff. But just giving a salute to the pioneers.
All right, no doubt. Y'all know the bookworm in me. We got it right there. Breaks in the Air, the birth of rap radio in New York City. Definitely a dope book to check out. I haven't even tapped in yet.
What's that book?
It's Breaks in the Air by John Classes, Klaess. Amazon, maybe $20. But somebody hit me with it and I was like, nah, I never saw that. So had to cop this, just haven't had a chance to get into it. And for people out there, it's coming up, January. I don't know why I keep getting January and July mixed up. It's two totally different months. January 25th, NDC, National Hip Hop Museum, Apartment 5B live broadcast. Gonna be me, Grap Lover, Trey Lee, Rel's in the building, my man DJ Iron, JR is gonna be there. Come through, chop it up. Anywhere you see my Twitter, my IG, it's on there. You go to National Hip Hop Museum's IG, it's on there too with the Evite. Come through, chop it up with us. It's gonna be definitely a dope conversation. We're looking to have these once a month. So by the time the summer kicks off, we good to go. So definitely come through for that. But y'all know me, let's get right to it. People have always said, Kill, how do y'all come up with different topics every single week? And I have a blessed team around me. People will call me with topics. A lot of times, I told one of my kids this. I was like, dog, I speak hip hop. He was like, yo, what do you mean you speak hip hop? I'm like, yo, dog, I'll be like Jay said, yo, it ain't nothing wrong with the aim. Just got to change the target. I use rap lines in my everyday life. So it was this video of George Foreman uppercutting somebody. And he uppercut the shit out that nigga. And the mouthpiece like flew all the way to like the fifth row or something like that. And somebody had said, yo, George did a walk by, and I was like, yo, one of my favorite Eazy-E lines from the grand finale off DOC's album, when that nigga said, man, fuck a car, I do a motherfucking walk by. I was like, I remember being in 8th grade like, yo, this nigga not a drive by, but a walk by. Now somebody out there watching now is gonna be like, come on, Kill, that's not. In 1988, that was a dope punchline, especially from Eazy-E. I didn't expect much from Eazy in his heyday, but Eazy said that, and that line just stuck with me. So, we're gonna be talking about what are lines that you heard that brain explosion emoji that you just heard and was like, what? You know what I mean? And then we're gonna try to chop it up about maybe what is your moment, what is your most brain explosion, not verse, but like bar or line that you ever heard. I'm wondering if it's all the same thing, because I figure everyone, especially Calv, I already know it's on yours. You know what I mean? So we might as well just throw the big joker out right now. Nas, live at the barbecue, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. Yo.
Yeah.
The first, I'll never forget, I was at the City Hall train station in Philly waiting for the Orange Line. I'm listening to the album, and if everybody who knows Main Source's album, it's on the B side. When you had the tape, it's closer to the end, and it's just like, yo, what did I just like? It was like a while, like, yo, what did he just say? Like, and for years, I didn't even grow up in the church, but for years, I could not say that line. I'd be like, when I was 12, you know, like I could not say I went to hell for snuffing Jesus, because I was just like, yo, is this nigga a devil worshiper? Like, what's wrong with this boy? Like, who says you went to hell for snuffing Jesus? Who punches God's only begotten son? Who does that? Like, so that was definitely one of mine. I'm assuming the Queens affiliation, the Queensbridge affiliation is there too. Cal, talk a little bit about that line when you heard it. Do you remember where you were? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, my man Craig lived across the street from me. He had the cassette. I think we recorded off probably one of these mix shows, you know, listening to whatever. And like you said, he like, what the hell is nothing? She's like, yo, pretty much what you're saying. Like, and then it's kind of like, you hear that, and then he follow up on Back to the Grill again. And he's like,
waving automatic guns and nuns.
Like, yo. Then on halftime, he's like, I wait for God with the 4-4. I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Church was the ops, like, what?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, yo, just kind of, like you said, line after line, just kind of shock value, and obviously, just, you know, lyrical thoughts, but just those punchlines, like, yo, just crazy. Like, yo, who is this dude?
Right. Now, Vague, you being in Queensbridge, Ill Will being your cousin, you being around Nas, what was it? Where were you at when you heard this joint? Did you already know Nas was gonna be on Main Source's album? Was it kind of like a surprise? Like, was the word around Queensbridge like, yo, Nas is on this joint? Or did you just buy it and you had no idea and you just heard Nas?
I had no idea. Ironically, the first time I heard it was from Will. And ironically, like, if I remember correctly, we were coming from my grandmother's funeral. And, you know, we driving to the repast, and my brother's driving, and Will is in the front, and he was playing it for my brother. But I didn't know he was talking about Nasir. I just thought, you know, it was this crazy rap dude that did it. And I was like, man, he sounded familiar. So it was like a little bit later on where I realized who it was. But when I heard it, I was like, what? Why would he say that? Like, who says that? Like, you know
right. Like, you ain't even got to go to church. Like, I was probably the most heathenest nigga in the world, and I was like, come on, bro. Like, you can't say that shit. Like, nowadays, that would be nothing. Niggas is having sex in church. So, but back in our day, it was like, dog, you ain't even want to hold a shorty hand in church. Like, yo, come on, chill. Like, wait till after, like, yeah, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So, so I threw the big joke out. That's one. Vague, what is one of the lines? And I'm interested, you being an MC, what was one of the lines that just had you making a brain explosion emoji? Like, I can't believe dude just said that.
Some of them are, some of the ones I have kind of have shock value, and some of them are just ill. Like, I guess all of it's the same, like, who thinks of that? But since we talking Nas, I do have one from Nas. It's off the song that I typically skip on Illmatic, One Time for Your Mind. But when he said, y'all niggas was born, I shot my way out my mom dukes, I was like, well, that's not good. Like, you know, because at first you like, it sounds kind of ill, but then you start to think about it, like, why would you shoot your way out your mother? Like, yo. But I guess that's when he was kind of like shock value Nas for a minute. So.
Right. Nah, that's an ill. It's an ill line, to be honest with you. Nas got a couple of joints on here for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I kind of tried to do like people like that we know, and then I have a lot of other MCs who are still dope, but people may have not have really thought of. But that I shot my way out my mom dukes was a crazy line. You know what I mean? Because I think one of the dope things about really, really good MCs is you visualize what they're saying. You know what I mean? So it's not like you just hear it, when I heard I went to hell for snuffing Jesus, I mean, at the time I didn't know what Nas looked like. I just seen some in my head, like some hood dude just snuffing Jesus in a robe, like nigga. Like, I think that's what made it so ill for me, because I'm really visual. Like, I'll read a book and I will literally have that's why I love reading a book before the movie or the series comes out, because in my mind I've already had what the people look like. I got their steeds and everything, so it's so visual for me. So yeah, I shot my way out. My mom Dukes is kind of crazy. So yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Kel, which one? What you got up for us, good brother?
You know, we might as well stay in Queens and stay with Nas.
I didn't honestly, Kel, I didn't think we were leaving. So I didn't think we were leaving the borough. So I mean,
so I got Nas I got your power. I gave you power. I put the barrels on my dick. I circumcised, pull my skin back and cock. I'm like. I mean, you just talk about the gun, but then you're like, that's the comparison. I'm like, that's that analogy. I didn't expect that at all.
Yo, the crazy thing, bro, is we gotta try and find a way to do it, because what I really want to do is interview these MCs. Like, yo, what were you thinking? And to be honest with you, I'm really shocked that no one has done this. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what the show is about. It's like, yeah. And it's crazy, but I'm gonna have to find a way to do it now. But like, that's the thing. Like, I'm always interested. Like, when I heard Come Clean, I'm always like, yo, if I interviewed Pete Rock, it's just gonna be a producer conversation. It's gonna be a producer nerd out on why did you chop that drum but not that? Like, the questions I'm gonna ask are so intricate that the average nigga wouldn't even care. Like, what is he talking about? But it's like, what made you think about that, bro? Like dead ass. Like, was you just jerking off and you was like, oh shit, like maybe it's like a gun? Like, what were you doing that came into your head to me even think that? You know, like, niggas be like, oh, it's just a weed, or, you know, I would just love to know, because it's, again, I'm amazed by it. In fact, talk to me a little bit from an MC perspective. I'm amazed because I can't do it. I'm amazed by you, Veg, because I can't do it. You know what I mean? But Shazam ain't amazed by Superman. Nigga, I fly too. Like, nigga, you're not doing no shit I'm not doing. You know what I mean? So, as an MC, are you amazed by this shit?
I think sometimes, depending on the lines I am, because you sit there and it all dates back to when you first started kicking your raps in front of people. Right, it's about the reaction. So right. You kind of want a reaction from the listeners. So you're trying to, like, if you're doing a concept song like that, you're really trying to find ill ways to say certain things, because you know what the reaction will be. So sometimes you might go that far as to say, oh, well, what's the motion of a gun? Oh, but if I say, and he's excellent at the details, because he makes everything visual. You know what I'm saying? He just picks the right words and make them rhyme and make them go together, and it all makes sense. So in a lot of ways, like, I'm amazed off the strength as, you know, a peer saying like, damn, that's ill the way you put that together, because it's inspiring, you know what I'm saying, for you to do the same thing. And I think back then too, early 90s, especially that time, the Philly Blunt era, they was all like, yo, son, what if you was a gun? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
why I said it could have just been the weed. Like, it could have just been, yo, nigga Jungle said some shit to me, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just amazed by all the shit that y'all do. Calv, I'm gonna stay in Queens, because the line I have, and this was like from my my side joint, like, you know, not one of the main ones, but this was something that was really crazy to me. And it's Pharoahe. When Monch says on Desire, he says two things. The second thing he said is, my book's overread, the pages I lust to turn, my pen's the penis, when I write the ink's the sperm.
Yep.
You know, and it was just like, okay. But it was like, and this is how you're coming in from the chorus. So you're setting off the second verse with, my book's an overread, the pages I lust to turn, my pen's the penis, when I write the ink's the sperm. And it's kind of just like, was you jerking off too? Like, is everybody please jerking off tonight? Like, what the fuck? Like, but it's really like, yo, like, what is wrong with you? And the part that really got me before that is Still Off a Desire. Still Get It Popping without artists and repertoire, because Monch is a minor, only minus the A&R.
Yeah, I love that verse. I love that line.
And it's just like, Hug, what are you thinking? Like, this is why it's like, I need to know, like, what is this? Is there a science behind it? I used to do this joint vague, and I don't think I ever got a chance to do one with you. We gotta get one done. But I used to do this thing called God, I don't even remember the name of it now. But whenever an MC would come over, I would be like, yo, how did you write to this song?
You do the process.
The process. Thank you, Kel. Thank you. The process. And it was so amazing to me because going into this, I thought everybody was going to have a similar process. Every single person had a different process. Every single person. My man Tony Blount, who's an R&B writer, he was saying, yo, my parents, before I could go outside for the summer, we had to do creative writing every day. And my dad would give me a crazy ass story, like write a story about two magical rabbits finding gold. And we would have to write this story before we could go outside. So for him, he's used to being able to grab any type of topic and run with it. You know, and I did Tanya, I did Nay. Everybody has a totally different process of it. And I think that's just amazing to me because, again, because I can't do what you all do, it's just like, how do you do this? Like when you sitting there, did you watch a movie about a monarch? Like, and then you was like, oh shit, my name is Monch. The only thing that's missing is the A&R. Okay, so let me say something about Still Get It Popping without artists and repertoire. Like, how did it come together to kind of like fit the puzzle? When you think about it, like, me and they started doing puzzles because I said we was impatient. Anytime I would tell Naomi she has to get better at something, I would always tell her I need to get better at something too. So I never wanted her to think I'm constantly telling her you need to get doper, but I don't need to get doper. So we both needed patience. So we started doing puzzles. What I've realized with growing old and seeing other people do puzzles, they all attack it a different way. I've seen people who do the outskirts of the puzzle first. I've seen people who do the insert first. I've seen people who look at it, I'm going to go with the clouds, or I'm going to go with all of one color first. So all these rhymes, I feel like, are just pieces of the puzzle. And it's kind of just like how you decide to put it together. But I'm just amazed by that. So yeah, that Monch joint is Off a Desire. And for everybody watching, again, go in, tap into these songs. I've got a lot of joints that a lot of people probably heard. I got a couple of joints I know people haven't heard. So check out that Desire, Pharoahe Monch, Queens niggas talking to, yo.
Real quick, I guess I could take a shot at what I think he might have been thinking.
Okay.
Or any MC, and it's kind of based off of probably my process. But I'm not a freestyle kind of dude, like off the head. Like I'm really good at doing that shit with comedy. And that's probably where the raps would go. But I'm not like, yo, that was an ill freestyle. But I write like a freestyle because I don't sit there and do intricate. I just kind of flow with the music and I start writing. So I'm basically freestyling, but I'm writing. Right. And I think during that process, sometimes the other lines start to come to you and the ideas start to come to you. So Pharoahe Monch could have been making it a basic, religious bar, but probably thought about saying monarch and then thought about his name and, okay, how can I make this work? Because I've done that before where you like, damn, if I could figure it out, it'll be ill. And once you get it, you got it. But in a lot of ways, it always seems like, damn, like you said, like, damn, how you come up with that? But sometimes it's like puzzles, like you said, where you just like, I got to make it work somehow. So.
Right. And it's so funny because I don't hoop. People out there think just all black people hoop. I don't hoop. I'm not nice at all. I love hoop, but I don't hoop at all. And when I used to play with my homeboys, if I scored a basket, nigga, I was the happiest person in the world. I'm like, I'm done. There's my 2 points. That I'm good. And it's the same thing with MC. Like after that rhyme, I would have been like, oh, I retire. I'm good. I'm good. Monch is the monarch, only mine staying on. We could just stop right there. I'm good. I've accomplished that dream. But so again, you guys are like really superstars. And it's funny, Vague, that you brought up, wanting to get a reaction. And everybody who watches 5B, people joke about it on Twitter all the time. I love the fact that people joke on me about this. When Calvin, I was in a cipher, and it was like, you know, Osei, Wale, all them niggas.
Yep.
And I was writing this rhyme, and I said, yo, this shit is gonna, everybody is gonna like lose their shit. Like, this is gonna be a fucking live at the barbecue moment. Like, right. And I said, something. So I'm gonna switch my style like Pepsi and make myself clear. Nigga, it was crickets. Let me explain this to you. Not one nigga said anything. I think number one, people don't even remember. There was a time when Pepsi was clear. It was probably only for a year, but they had clear Pepsi. It looked just like Sprite, and it was clear. I don't think anybody else in that cipher ever knew that. And that was the day I said, I'm going to start making beats because I don't belong here. That was the day. That was the day that I said, and I'm gonna put the pen and pad down. This is not my ministry. Like I'm not built to be an usher. This is not my ministry. I'm gonna go over here and just mess with these beats. So I feel you, Vague. I really thought I would. Vague, the night before, I was like, yo, I'm gonna shut shit down. Like I couldn't wait to get to the studio. It was like, I don't know if y'all saw that Kevin Hart joint when he was like, his mom, my mother told me to tell you. Like, I couldn't wait to get to school the next day on campus. Like, yo, I got something for niggas. Just chill. Just watch. Just watch, niggas. Just watch what I got for y'all niggas. And it didn't work. So,
and look, Kill, let me just let people know who've never been a part of the cipher or maybe too young or whatever. It's really quiet in a cipher when lines don't hit.
Oh, it's deafening quiet. It's deafening. It's like, you know how they'll be like, yo, let's have a moment of silence for somebody. Nigga, it was a moment of silence for my career as an MC. It was a moment of silence because that was the death. That was it, right? That was it. Because I never wrote a rhyme again after that. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Let me put this energy into something else. Vague, what you got up next, bro?
All right. Well, let's keep it Queens. 50 Cent, Life's on the Line. When he said this line, part of me was thinking, damn, why nobody ever put it like that before? But it was just ill. He said, when I don't like a nigga, I don't continue. I have the paramedics wrapping your fucking head like a Hindu. I was like, damn. The turban, I was like putting it together in my head, like the turban
right.
does look rap.
Right.
Like, damn, why nobody ever said that? So it was so... That's the shit I like about MCs. When you find something that was like in plain sight that right. he could have said, and it was the way he said it, and it was so perfect. It was the energy. Right after that, he like, I ain't going nowhere, so get used to me. And you know, you see what happened. So it was such a dope moment to hear that in that way, where I was just like, niggas, it's like it's gangster rap or it's hardcore rap, but it's also creative at the same time.
Right. And I love how you said like it can be in plain sight, because I remember reading in Scratch magazine, they were talking to Mr. Walt from the Beat Miners, and they were talking about Primo's 10 crack commandments for Big. And Walt is like, dog, I had that Les McCann record for years. Like, and I never heard that, it's so it's in plain sight. I got the record, you know what I mean? So a lot of times people think just because you got the record that you hear what somebody else hears, and a lot of times you don't, you know what I mean? So it's like you said, some can be in plain sight, or we've said it a different way before, but to say it like that is just is crazy, you know what I mean? Cal, what you got up next, bro?
So I'm gonna go to I got Queens, of course, you know I got more, but I'm gonna go to Brooklyn for a minute. This artist, I mean, I'm probably gonna have 30 songs from him, because he just has crazy shit all the time that just makes me laugh. Sean Bryce, Boom Baye. I'm sorry, not Boom Baye. Monkey Bars. He's like. Big Bob, I have to do the whole thing so you hear like cold person. Big Barbarians, baboons do big bucks. Gorillas with gas, niggas big rock. African apes stacking the papes. I put some crack in your steak. Don't get slapped in the face. I'm like, what? I put some crack in your steak. I'm like, seasoning? What is going on here?
Bro, P was just... P was special, man.
He was special.
Like, I mean, his own style, and we kind of talked about this on a previous ep, like when we were talking about Ghost, how Ghost, Rock, and Free were the people who kept their crews going, but nobody expected that. Like, you know what I mean? And on top of that, all three of them have their own style. So you can't do Free, you can't do Ghost, you can't do Rock. I mean, the stuff that Rock would just say, like, you know, and I ain't even vote for Obama, P. Like, it was just like so simple, man. You know, it was that I can say that one of the few people for me from the 90s who I felt like I still was excited anytime a new Sean P album came out. Like, it never was, I'll check for it when they get, no. Sean P dropping, we need to tap that.
Even in the same song, I was gonna say, in the same song, he goes, niggas trying to free Momia. I'm unraveling roach clips trying to free this reefer. So to your point about, you know, everybody's talking about Momia, you know, obviously Philly, you know, he talking about blunts. I'm like,
right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, I'm gonna go back to 87. This is a song that honestly to me changed my life. Again, I feel like everybody gives Rakim his due as he should. You know what I mean? But I still think people forget about KRS-One. When I heard the third verse of Poetry, so what's your problem? It seems you want to be KRS-2. From my point of view, backtrap, stop the attack. Because KRS-One means simply one KRS. That's it. That's all. Solo, single, no more, no less. Bro, when I heard that, me and my cousin Kaylon we used to stay in Fort Greene. You talk about head, brain explosion. Like, niggas was not rapping like that in 86, 87. They weren't. And then me not even understanding lyrics like that. So what's your problem? It seems you want to be KRS-2. Are you saying you want to be KRS also? Or are you saying you want to be KRS-2 because I'm KRS-1? So it's just like,
that's
yo, this nigga's doing this in 86, my nigga. You know what I mean? Because Poetry kind of dropped 86, 87, so that means they had to record it. So it's like, yo, niggas wasn't rapping like this in 86, y'all. Like, go Google fucking hip-hop in 1986 and see some of the names that's coming up, and then play Poetry. It don't sound like everything else that was coming out. So that KRS one right there, man, like, yo, at that point in time, KRS was my GOAT right there.
I was talking to one of my mentees, and I was talking about some hip-hop, and they were like, do you ever think about being an MC? And I referenced, I said, I heard My Philosophy, I heard I Ain't No Joke, and I heard Men at Work. I was like, and I was trying to rap it, you know, as you run the MC around the corner for me and stuff. I'm like, nah, I can't rap. I can't rhyme like that. I said, it's a rap. As I can do with Run DMC's doing, it seemed a little simpler. But like, once they got to that level, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, bro. The joke in my house is T won't let me rhyme because she's like, nigga, you stuck in 84. Like, you rap like you're Curtis Blow. It's 2025 and you still rap like you Curtis Blow. So I'm with you, Cal. Like, my style never advanced. You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's why I'm so amazed by what Vague and other MCs do, because it literally, I mean, and again, I would love to ask this because y'all are both from New York. Maybe it hit different. As a 10-year-old, I looked at rappers like superheroes. Like, I looked at the Fat Boys like fucking superheroes. Like, it's fucking Wolverine, Cyclops, Buffy, Cool Rocksky. Like, nigga, y'all are all in the same category to me. Now, I know for y'all may be different because, Kelv, you may have seen LL Cool J one day. Or Vague, you may...
girl down the block for me, so I used to see him driving that Cadillac all the time. So, you know, like I said, I see him on the store and stuff like that. You see,
but were they like superheroes to y'all because you got to see them?
Really? I didn't see it that way.
Okay.
I mean, I thought, you know, there they go, stuff like that, but I thought they were just regular people at the same time. Yeah.
Vague, what about you?
I think it depended on who it was because, like, I got like two different examples. One was, I think Big Daddy Kane was like, he wasn't on my block, but he was a couple blocks down, and I idolized Kane. So I started walking in that direction just to get a glimpse of him. Because, you know, in New York, you could see anybody.
Right.
But, you know, there were certain people who I wanted to see or meet or have a chance to say something to. But then the other one, and there's no disrespect, you know, But I remember being in Queensbridge in the early 80s. Me and Will was walking to the bodega, and he was mad hype. He was like, yo, there go Shannon. I was like, so? So I had the total opposite, like. At first, I'm like, now if it was LL, I would have been like, yo, where you at? But it was Shan, and this was prime Shan. Like, can't go, no shirt on, you know, 6-pack. And I was like, so? Queensbridge ass niggas, like, But yeah, I guess it depends.
All right. Veg, who you got up next, man?
Speaking of Brooklyn, y'all know I got to get one big joint in here. And you mentioned the song, that's why I'm going with this one. But 10 Crack Commandments, when he said, number 3, never trust nobody. Your moms have set that ass up, properly gassed up, hoodied and masked up. For that fast buck, she be laying in the bushes to light that ass up. I was like, God damn, one of the commandments is you can't trust your mama? Like, that shit, because I expected a bunch of street talk, you know what I'm saying? But the way he flipped that, you know, not only flipping the gassed up, assed up, masked up kind of thing, but just having you think about it, like, don't even trust your mama. And he giving that description of she'd be on it just like your enemy. So I just thought that was ill the way, and clever, you know, to have that in there.
Hell yeah. Cal, what you got up next?
I got Ghostface, Mighty Healthy. He got a verse like, scissor hand, wig vanish in the winter, living off land. You goddamn right, I fuck fans. King me. Really tells like, yo, King me, what is this? What you call it? Chess, checkers. Just kind of like, you know, just put crown me, you know, like, you know, Ghost, you know, same thing. He got so many songs, but he got so many crazy lines and stuff like that too.
Right.
Carrying his crew.
Man, that's crazy. I'm gonna follow up with Vay with another big joint. When I heard Unbelievable, when that nigga says get ready to die, tell God I said hide and throw down some ice for the nicest MC. Niggas know Stilo, Unbelievable. Again, me being a visual person, I'm like, yo, could you imagine a nigga saying, like, you seeing a nigga go to heaven, it's like, yo, tell that nigga God I said what's up and tell him throw down some ice for the nicest MC. Like, it's hot down here, but throw some ice down for me. I was just like, yo, this nigga, it was those things that made Big to me so incredible, you know. In 20-second time out from the topic, like, one of my peoples was saying, I forgot who it was. He was saying, Tom was going back and forth with some boy about Big L, you know, and the boy was saying Big L's name should be right there mentioned with Biggie and Jay and Nas. And I'm like, yo, stop. No, stop. Like, I love Big L to death. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm always telling niggas about shit. Nigga, I've got a damn Big L damn statue in my crib. Okay? So niggas be like, oh, you don't fuck with it. Nigga, look, it's a fucking Big L statue, y'all. And these things ain't cheap. So yeah, I fuck with Big L. But me saying his name doesn't belong in the same sentence as Biggie, Jay, and Nas. Biggie, Jay, and Nas to me are 3 of the most incredible artists, lyricists, songwriters, authors in the history of music. That's no knock to say. Here's the thing, and I said this, and somebody was like, Kill, you even gave him too much credit. I said, Dwayne Wade, an amazing career. The nigga, multiple all-star, finals MVP. I watched the game when he single-handedly beat the Dallas Mavericks. His name still don't need to be mentioned along Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. That's no disrespect to D Wade. And somebody's like, well, Kill, D Wade probably has more accomplishments than Big L. You may want to bring down Brandon Roy or somebody. And I'm like, granted, but I just wanted to prove that point that we have to stop acting as if Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron are just fly-by-night niggas. And the NBA is in trouble right now because we don't have another Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. That's why the NBA is in fucking trouble right now. So it's not like you just pull them niggas off of trees. They don't just always come like that. Saying Big L's name doesn't deserve, I mean, the stuff that Big said that I'm still marveling over 30 years later. You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to L. I love L. I even said, hey, the only Big L line that I use is we go shopping when the plane lands. I thought that was the illest flex. Like, I was like, damn, I would love to one day be like, nah, see, don't worry, we go shopping when the plane lands. Like, that was a dope line. And it's not discrediting L, but dog, like, Big, Nas, and Jay are just different. Like, I literally probably have at least 8 Nas joints right here that I could just keep going. Like, so again, we it's no discredit to say somebody's name does not belong next to Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Bird, and LeBron. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Veg, what do you think? I mean,
I was gonna say, because you know, like, I've seen that argument a million times. I've had it on Twitter. Because one dude tried to tell me, you know, Big L was the father of like mixtape freestyles, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Where are you from?" Because I was here in Bedford-Stuyvesant, in New York. You from Europe? Stop talking to me, shorty. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what it was like to be on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
And get the pulse of what everybody's saying, no matter what, you know, what they are. And he kind of cleaned it up because he was like, well, Big L he's kind of really revered over here, so that's why we go to bat for him. And I'm like, I get that, but that's like with any of your favorites, you're gonna go to bat for them.
Right.
But I feel like with Big L, to your point, I think a lot of times when a guy is starting at the same starting line as the rest of his peers, but they're more successful and they have greater careers, people want to champion that guy as being better than them, even though he didn't get further than them. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like we all know Earl Manigault was a monster. Because you're not going to tell me better than Jordan, because he could have got on that same court with Jordan and showed us. There were guys who were kind of challenging Jordan. You know, unfortunately, some of them passed, stuff like that. And, you know, like Bernard King was hurt. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be like, Bernard King better than Jordan. Like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Like, he's not. He's my guy, but he's not. So you're right. I think people just can't take the criticism because it's almost like you're saying this person doesn't matter, they whack. Why are you even thinking about them? But that's not what you're saying. You're just saying there's levels. And that's not a catch line. That's just the truth. There's levels. So, yeah.
I think the other thing, too. I'm sorry, Kel. What do you think about the L?
The thing said, I think, like you said, people, I think, especially like if you battle talk people Twitter and stuff like that, they're their hero. So it's kind of, it feels like you're putting down their hero, even though you're not. You know, you're giving them the credit and stuff, but like you said, there's levels to it all. And like Biggie said, I think that people think that is a knock that you diss them, but you know, there's levels to it. You know, there's no disrespect. The guy's dope. He's dope, but you can't put him wrestling.
And I think the thing for me too is I'm like, y'all niggas love to make it seem like it is just too many wrong equations. And I think it's because there's new fucking math. You know, we did old math where you had to show your work. These young niggas don't have to show their work no more. You know what I mean? And when you show your work, you understand the equation. You understand where things are moving. You understand what you're adding and subtracting. Because I'm like, one boy told me, well, Nas said he was scared of Big L. That don't mean Big L was better than him. Nigga, I've seen plenty of niggas be scared to rumble somebody and then go on to beat the fuck out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So just because you scared to rumble somebody don't mean you're going to lose. Then somebody else is like, oh, yeah, but L ripped Jay-Z on the Stretch and Bob show. Okay. Let's just say he did for shits and giggles. He still ain't better than Jay. You know what I mean? And y'all have to stop acting. And this only happens online. And this is the difference between Twitter and real life. Because I've never had these conversations in real life. Okay? Right. Through the heyday of Strictly Hip Hop and being at Morgan with all the niggas we all three of us went to school with, I never heard Big L's name brought up with Big Jay-Z or not. Not ever. I only hear this shit online on Twitter. It's like it's a different alternative universe. Like it's like Marvel comics on Twitter. So I'm always like, I've never heard this in real life because these conversations don't exist. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it just is what it is. And y'all are acting like L did this freestyle on Bob and then died the next day. Like that nigga was Kid Hood. No. L came out in 94 and didn't die till 99. Right. That nigga had 5 years.
5 years. Right.
Big didn't have that long.
Nope. That's true. Yep.
And we still talking about Big. So number one, y'all gotta stop treating this nigga like he was Kid Hood, like he did a freestyle and then he died. Then it's like, oh, we don't know what would happen. We heard that first Big L album. We know what happened. So, and then the other thing too is
hold up, Kid. I got a question about that for you.
What's that?
Do you think, and I know niggas will never admit it, but you think it's because they just heard it and we heard it when it happened? So for them, it's so fresh and it's so impressionable, and they could watch it a million times on YouTube. When we've been heard that shit years ago, do you think it's probably a lot of niggas who are like impressed, like the Black Thought freestyle? It's like, oh, he's the greatest. Like that's what he does.
Right. Kel, answer first, please.
I think there is something to that. I think that, but I think that with these super fans, stands Eminem, Doom, Rock Marciano, there's people who they don't want you knocking down their king at all. Drake, I guess you would say. They don't want you knocking down their king at all. So I think, it's, like you said, if it's something new, then they're gonna ride with it and think that, oh yeah, let me rock. I'm the first to hear this. Like I said, we've heard this 30 years ago, but like now I heard it now. Yeah, it's fresh. It's fresh in my mind. I'm a rolling. It's the best. I think that
I think it's that too, Vague. And I mean, here's the funny part. Somebody was just asking about Tikal today. And I was like, nah, it was a big letdown for me, whatever. One dude was like, nah, it was classic. And I'm like, yo, before I even do the Tikal conversation, first thing I gotta ask you, how old were you? And the guy was like, I was a baby. But he was like, what does that have to do with this album? Now I said, sit back, youngster, let me tell you a fucking story. Marvin Gaye had this album out called Hear My Dear. And I said the album dropped right off I Want You. And it's funny because Nay was just in here last night listening to I Want You. So after this album dropped, people wanted something specific from Marvin. They were looking for a certain sound. And during this time, Marvin was going through a divorce. And I think he either had to give all the money or half the money to his ex-wife through the settlement for this album. So he's like, well, fuck it then. I'm going to just make music about this. So I'm not making music that sounds like I want you. Nobody fucked with that album when it came out. Now, here's the part of the story that nobody ever talks about, because then we write it as if now, 40 years later, we all love it. No. Us younger motherfuckers love it. My mom still don't like Hear My Dear, okay? People over 65 still don't like it. Our generation heard it and was like, yo, this is kind of dope. Why? Because we weren't there when I Want You came out. We weren't anticipating what Marvin was going to give us next. We just heard this as a fresh body of work. Same thing with Tikal. If this kid was a baby when Tikal came out, then you have no idea how Meth was supposed to be the face of hip hop. That's who Method Man. When you think of the face of hip hop, it was not supposed to be Big. It was supposed to be Meth. The women loved him. The streets loved Meth. He was supposed to be the king. There was, dare I say, and I'll ask you too, do you think Tikal or Doggy Style? I said Doggy Style, but I said Tikal wasn't far behind on the anticipation. Do y'all agree with that?
I'm gonna say Tikal. I'm gonna say Tikal only because I think the what comes out with Big. Method Man comes out, obviously. Yeah, no, Method Man, he's on fire at this point. He's on fire. I'm gonna say Tikal.
Vague, what do you think? Who had more anticipation, Tikal or Doggy Style?
I'm gonna say Doggy Style only because the anticipation for Meth was huge, but I was on the East Coast, so of course it was to me, in that, being around that. But that anticipation on the East Coast in Brooklyn for Doggy Style was just as big, so I'm sure it was crazy in Cali
on the West Coast, right?
but meth was supposed to. He was probably like that with Snoop,
right,
Yeah,
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't, it's close. And Tical is not that. Doggy Style came through and was the 5 mic classic we wanted. Tical wasn't. Now, people love to say, but about the floods, and I'm like, again, this is the youth movement. We didn't know shit about the floods when it came out. It's not like we brought the CD and the fucking insert said, hey, don't forget, RZA just had a flood, so don't hold this against. We ain't have no idea that there was no flood. We had no idea. I don't even think we even heard about the flood until the internet was invented. So for you kids out there, you got to remember, we would listen to music when there was no internet. When the only news we got was in the Source every month. So I'm just explaining to the kid that you have to understand that the way the younger generation may view an album, I guarantee you, if Vague, I know most people our age love Here My Dear. If we sat down with people 72 and older, I guarantee you they'd be looking at us the way we look at these niggas who be like, Tical's a classic. Because it's like, somebody asked me today, they was like, yo, Kill, what's the last time you checked for Tical? I said, probably about 3-5 years ago. Somebody challenged me to listen to it. Maybe it's a 3.5 and it was a 3. Like, it's still not a classic. That's the moral of the story. I don't care how many times I listen to it. It's still not going to be 5 mic classic. And keep in mind, I've never called it trash. That's the other thing. I've never seen anybody be like, yo, Tical was trash. No, we just said it's not a classic. What we got from Ray and Ghost is what we expected from Meth. That is the moral to the story. It's very similar to New Edition. We didn't expect BBD to have the dopest album out of fucking New Edition. We expected Ralph.
Yep.
We didn't expect Ray and Ghost to have the dopest album out of 36 Chambers. We expected Meth. So again, people got to understand. So I just wanted to explain that to the young boy and the people watching that, again, age does play a part in things. It plays a part. If you were a kid, you weren't there to see. Cal, you know the Month of the Man, that promo was everywhere. Everywhere you looked, it was Month of the Man. For people who don't know, Redman's There's a Dark Side. Method Man's Tical was this whole promo thing from Def Jam. They went up and down the East Coast, all the HBCUs, the Month of the Man, the Month of the Man, Bring the Pain. Y'all wasn't outside for that. So y'all have no idea what that was like, what that anticipation was like. So again, that's just a testament of why age does play a part in how we hear music, because again, we write as if Marvin Here's My Dear is a classic now, only to our generation. The older generation is still like, I don't fuck with that shit. The same way we're still like, we don't fuck with Tical. So it does play a part. Vague, were you next or Cal?
Maybe I was. I think so.
All right, what you got next?
Next I got Prodigy. Can't complain on things I see. When I heard this, I had to rewind it because I was like, what he said? Nigga said it'd be a manslaughter right in front of the crib, a little blood get on my daughter, it's nothing, she'll live. And I was like, wait a minute.
What?
Like, because, you know, at first you're just thinking, oh, bars and fucking murder and shit, but when you bringing the kids into it, he like, that's how serious it is. You come to my crib thinking you're gonna do something, you know, it's gonna be a manslaughter. My daughter's right there, you know, some blood get on her, whatever. She'll live. It's just the way he put that together. It was visual, it was slick. That Can't Complain beat, I love it to death. Like, it was just a dope way to put it, but it was one of those moments where, you know, you listen and you like, damn, he said, well, let me go back. I gotta hear that again, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, dope Prodigy line.
Yeah, P was crazy, man. P was crazy. Kel, what you got up next, bro?
So I got another artist who have a lot of stands on Twitter. Cannabis. It's actually the Lost Boys, Beast from the East. Cannabis, he says, been rocking longer than niggas twice my age. Back in the day before Bob Marley was rocking a paper. Before Honest signed the papers that free slaves. Before Neanderthals was drawn on walls and caves. I existed in the Garden of Eden, getting lifted, sticking dick to Eve before she was Adam's mistress. I'm like,
again,
Cannabis, man, early on. I mean, Cannabis is dope. I ain't gonna lie. He was He has some joints, some verses, really.
Now, see, that's the difference between Cal and Cannabis first album. To me, that first album was trash. Like, it ain't even getting nothing from me. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You know what I mean? And some boy literally just told me today, Cannabis's first 2 albums are classic. And I was like, well, we just have different definitions of the word classic. We just gonna walk away from that with that, you know, and we just gonna walk away. Yeah, he was like, nah, because it's a real good album and I really like it. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's not my definition of a classic. It takes so much more. But I get it. I'm glad that you know that that's what a classic is to you. So now I know what language you speak. You know what I mean? So I know not to take shit serious because I just know if you just like an album, it's a classic. You know what I mean? Because I've never heard, again, any human being with a soul in real life say anything positive about Cannabis's first album. But, you know, ever. But that's the difference. Human being, number one, with a soul, okay? Real life. There's 3 levels to this shit, okay? So we just gotta, it's all 3. We gotta check those boxes. Vague, you said Prodigy, still shining, put holes through your shirts like Jamaican clothes. I heard that and I was just like, I quit. I don't even rap and I quit rap because nigga, like, you gotta be quitting a job I don't even have, my nigga. Like, 96 Prodigy was something the fuck else. You know what I mean?
He's right there.
Again, what was you on? Like, what was it, bro? Like, what was it the battery in your back? Was it Pac? Was it the LA? What was it? Because that nigga has, again, Prodigy, just that year alone, just off Hell on Earth, there's so many quotables that I could spew off. You know what I mean? So definitely P with that. Vague, what you got up next?
This one I heard in the club and I had to stop dancing. And I'm not even lying. The DJ played it and it was the first time I was actually hearing it. It was Lil Kim off of Hardcore. It was No Time. Joined with you know who. And you know, I'm just like, you know how when you hear a song for the first time, you know the album's coming, so you like, okay, Kim. And then she said, I'm drinking babies. And I was like, what the fuck she saying? Like, I stopped like,
you had to stop.
Oh shit. Like, because I had never heard any female MC. That was a level that I just wasn't used to hearing. Right. And it's a bar at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Because you're kind of thinking like, you know, I know there's some people like, well, what does she mean drinking babies? Like, dog, do we have to go to my Vanessa Del Rio collection and show you what we're about? One of the like Spice Channel VHS tape.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I was just like, wow, I remember me and my friends were going crazy off of that line. Because it was just ill to put it that way. Right. And then everybody had the poster, so you was just like, damn, Kim. But yeah, like that was one of them joints where, you know, I'm in the club and that, you know, of course I couldn't rewind it, but I definitely wanted to hear if I heard what she said again when the album came out. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy to say a line like that. But, you know, most females wasn't rapping like that back then, except for Foxy. So.
Right. And the thing, Vague, about that is it's crazy because that Lil Kim poster, I still to this day don't know why they let me put that up at EAA. Like, it's a place of business. And I had this poster up and Maxie must have just liked it too. But I remember Keith Murray coming in, seeing the poster. What happened?
Did Vinny let you put it up there?
No. This is up in the office during the day, Kel, when it's a jazz station. This was not in the production studio. This was in the office where interns and everybody could come hang out. And just in broad daylight was that poster. But the fact of it being like that poster was so crazy, and now we look back at it, and that poster's nothing. Like you see stuff 10 times crazier than that, just on IG. Not even looking for hoes. You see shit 10 times worse than that, which is just crazy because at that time, that was the craziest thing we had seen. You know what I mean? It literally was like, yo, you know, and like you said, drinking babies now, like, that's absolutely nothing. Right. You know what I mean? It's absolutely. One time I was in the car now, I was like, "What you listening to? Put that through the speakers." And we listening. This chick said, I think it was Doja Cat. She said, "Play with my pussy, not my emotions." And I was like, "Oh, how about that, Nate? How do you feel about that? Playing with pussy and emotions? Like, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Like, how does that bar make you feel?" So again, drinking babies is nothing for this generation. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, what's so good about that? Like, we rewind the line back. Like, listen, they're like, yeah, she's drinking babies. Okay, she's swallowing. So what? It's like. People didn't do it back then. Like, yo, that's what's so crazy about it. That was not it.
Like, that line doesn't compare to a song like Wow. Like, I couldn't believe when I heard that, and it was getting played on the radio in the daytime, and I was like, oh, this song is light years beyond the raunchy shit we heard in the 90s. And it's a hit single.
Right. And it's funny because they would be like, "Y'all, you and mommy always be trying to act like my people all bad, but listen to Lil Kim." I'm like, Naomi, come on, stop. Lil Kim may have been R-rated, but y'all shit is like XXX off the rip. So you can't compare no titty scene and Purple Rain and no porno. Like, we ain't gonna do that now. Like, those are two totally different things. Like, we ain't gonna do that. Kel, what you got up next, bro?
I got a P line. I got a P line too as well. Helena. He goes, whatever it takes, however it goes down. 4 mics on stage, the motherfucking 4 pounds. Speakers leaking out sound, and niggas leaking on the ground. Like, who puts that together? So speakers and so leaking, you know. So I'm like, yeah, this P. Like I said, 96 P is.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got 2 Nas joints. I got Nas on I-409. Condominium, Thug Dressed Like a Gentleman, tailor-made ostrich Chanel for my women. When he said that, it reminded me of growing up on my grandmother's block, and my neighbor, Mr. Remus, one time introduced somebody as his woman's friend. Like, that's what the OGs did. Nobody, no OG back in the 80s would be like, "Oh, kill, this my girl for me. This is my lady friend. This my woman friend." You know what I mean? So that line just stood out to me like crazy. Rel, what's good, baby?
What's the deal?
Same stuff, different day, bro. So I see you rocking that right. You rocking that right hat. So we good, brother. We good. We good sir. Out here. Yeah, so that was the first Nas. The second Nas I got is on Rewind. When that nigga says, the voice on the phone was like, "Outside right weed." So with my mouth wide holding my weed, bullets I had plenty to squeeze, plenty for you. Cause Jungle said, "Block you on, enemies the." The first time hearing Rewind, it just sounded like mumble jumble, and it was just like, again, Kel, Nas has had to been interviewed. This is why I kind of feel about hip hop journalism. Nas has probably been interviewed literally over 100 times.
I'm gonna say more. I'm gonna say 1,000.
Okay, 1,000. Nobody ever asked this nigga, "How the fuck did you do this?" Now, one hip hop journalist said, "Bro, I know we here to talk about the new album, but nigga, outside right we like Jungle said, block your own enemies, like nigga. We'll get the King's disease, my nigga. Hip boy, calm down, nigga. What is this?" I'd never heard anything like it before. To tell a story backwards. Like it's almost to the point, and I've never thought about this before, but it's almost like Nas the GOAT storyteller for me. Just off this, you told a story backwards. It's backwards. Forget it. I don't even give a fuck. And I'm just coming to this epiphany right now at fucking 10:02 on January. I don't even know what the date it is. 9th. Fuck it. Nas is the best ever. This nigga told a story backwards, made the shit make sense. Come on, y'all. Stop. Like, how? Did Large Pro give you the beat first? Did you have the idea? Did you hear the beat? Did you then come back? I need to know who was you smashing? Is it Khalid? What's going on in your life that enabled you to do that? Something happened. So those are my 2 Nas joints. Rel, what is one of your bars that made you just brain explosion emoji.
Beanie Sigel. He says on The Truth, he was like, chick telling him he need to change his life. He like, motherfucker, why not change my wife?
Yeah.
I said, you know what?
Yo, and then finished it with ignorant motherfucker.
Ignorant, right.
I rewound that shit so many times, yo. That shit was so funny to me. I said, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Like seriously, like I should change my life. How about I change you?
Yeah.
Like, how about I get another you?
But bro, it was also, and I think this is one of the things we don't talk enough about as an MC. Like, he didn't just say, you know, why don't I change my wife? I'm thinking, why don't I change my? It was the way he said it too. Like, it's like, was this girl in the studio with you arguing? Like, are you looking at your girl like, I'm thinking, motherfucker, why don't I change my wife? Like, it wasn't just like a bar. It was like this nigga was like in a scene or something. Like, yo, yeah. I thought you was gonna go with the end. The end is one of my favorite parts too. You know, you had to be where I've been, live, like all of that. Yeah. But that line is crazy. I got a Beans one on here too, but that one. But yeah, I'm thinking, why not change my wife? Yeah, crazy. Well, you just jumping on, so give us a couple more.
All right. Another one is, yo, this one's a little vulgar, but this was Jada.
Oh, it's cool. We've been saying it all night.
This is Jada at the begin at how he started his song, his verse off on the Rough Riders. I can't remember the name of that song. But he was like, yo, I hope you ain't tongue kissing your spouse, because I be fucking her in the mouth type of nigga. But to your house, I said, whoa. That is disrespectful. That's like, yo, that's disrespectful as hell, but that shit was fire. I remember when I was like, yo, I had to rewind that shit, bro. Like, only Jada.
Bro, and you set the rhyme off like that?
Started it out like that.
Yeah, started off.
Nigga, you going for the jugular on that type shit, man. For the jugular. Vague, what you got up next, bro?
Up next, Coogee Rap, Hill Street Blues. Up in the way, because I don't play clown. Take that way down. I was like, God damn, threw the nigga out the window and shot him while he was falling. Like, I had to rewind that shit. That's the only other time something ill like that happened. And I was in the movies. I didn't give a fuck. I was real black, and it's recent. In the last John Wick, where I think they were in Paris, and it was that roundabout, and the goons was chasing them. It was a car chasing all that shit, and he get out the car, and it's a shootout, and one of the goons get hit by a car, and this nigga puts like 3 shots in that nigga while he in the air, while he's shooting everybody else. It made me think about the Coogee Rap shit, like, so you already threw him out the window. Now you just like, well, let's just make sure he dies. Yeah. Shoot him in the head. That shit was crazy. So, yeah.
Yo, that's gotta be a top 5 G rap line to me. And again, the first time, like Ill Street Blues is such an ill song. And again, shout out to Tone and Poke, the track masters that people will have you believing all they did was shiny suit shit and looping up shit. I got a whole mixtape that was all track masters that's just all hip hop. You know what I mean? So yeah, they did Ill Street Blues. Yeah, Trackmasters, Stone and Poke did that shit, man. That was very, very dope song, man. Cal, what you got for us, bro?
So this next one, the whole it's almost like one you can do the whole thing. It's like one. So I got Smooth the Hustler. I mean, just the style of way that rhyme it's just all kilter, Bodies get cremated on a Friday to do or die with. Your death threat, send the head spinner, rapping in a life difference, 3 knockout cat winner, the gun reacher, busting shot teacher. I mean, the whole song, everything about it is crazy.
Man, like I remember hearing that at EAA, and the A side was Hustling. That's the side that the label wanted us to play. They was like, "Yo, we're going for ads on Hustling. We want this in rotation, everything like that. And it was like, all right, cool. What's the B-side? And when we heard that, it was like, yeah, I don't think we ever played Hustlin' a Day in the history of Strictly Hip Hop. Like, I don't think it ever got any play. Because once you heard Broken Language, it was just, why bother? Why are we even bullshitting over here with this? You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, that's the thing. Like, yo, just that's when labels were pissing me off, because it was like, now y'all really don't even care about the hip hop. You just want this nigga over some Curtis Mayfield loop, hustling something simple for the radio. And I guess to some extent I get it, because like, yo, you want to sell the records, but and at least they did give us a dope B-side. That's the thing about the mid-90s. Like, yeah, they were teetering, but they at least gave us the B-side. I felt by 2000 we were just getting bullshit. But Broken Language, I never heard anything like it. I'll never forget when Heather Headley came out with He Is.
Yeah. All right.
And I was like, yo, she biting smooth a hustle. I was like, that's the smooth style. That's the smooth style right there. And she was like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, you hear that? Like, the breadwinner, all that shit? That's the smooth style. She biting smooth a hustler. Like, yeah, that, man, Veg, I can't even imagine what Brooklyn was like when that shit came out, man.
Word.
I was at Morgan when that shit dropped. So
okay.
I mean, you know, Brooklyn was thick in there anyway, so we was in OC, like, yeah, nigga, you hear this shit, you hear this back and forth, nigga, like, we was going crazy. Yeah, niggas was nice, like,
Nice.
beyond belief.
Yeah.
That song is crazy.
And again, a crazy letdown, because after that, I was like, oh, Five Mic album, here it comes, it's coming, and it did not come from neither one of them. From neither one. Now, Trigger album got shelved. I got a copy of it if niggas want it, and it's a good album.
Yeah.
I think if it would have came out, it's nowhere near what we would have wanted, but it's not a bad album by any means. You know, I have no idea why Def Jam shelved it, because he had the joint off the Nutty Professor. My crew can't go for that joint. That was dope. But the album is dope. So I have no idea why he got shelved. But yeah, after those two, like, I'm expecting a Purple tape, because I'm like, y'all niggas on some Ghost and Ray shit right now. And y'all brothers, like, I said that about Conway and West. Like, nigga, when Griselda was at their height, I was like, this is what I expected from Smooth and Trigger. Like, y'all was supposed to be like Conway and West over here, and it just never panned out, which is crazy. But yeah, Cal, that shit was crazy. Bro, what's another joint you got, bro?
I got my man OC.
You like the minerals.
Non-conceptual, non-exceptional. Everything's either crime related
or sexual.
Like, that's like a part that stood out on that classic song. But like, that was just like, yo, there's a lot of y'all that fall in that category. The shoe fits and buy a matching purse. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah. So that's my time's up. Classic song. Like, I could have picked other stuff off of that, but that part right there sticks out to me when I hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first heard it, I ran that back. Like, yo, these going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah,
I love that album.
It's funny you bring up OC. Back to what we was talking about earlier with Big L. I was telling niggas, yo, in my opinion, L wasn't even the nicest nigga in DITC. In my opinion, it was OC. You know what I mean?
OC got the best albums to me.
They do.
Right. But the thing that I was saying is that a lot of y'all niggas, especially on Twitter, y'all, it's what Jada said, dead rappers get better promotions. I said, I bet you, if OC died right after Time's Up came out, niggas would still be talking about him now, like, yo, he was the greatest MC ever. He was right there with Jay, Nas, and Big. Here's the thing, OC has been making music all these years. Dope music, and y'all don't mention his name at all.
Nope.
But if he died right after fucking that shit right there, I guarantee y'all, yo, it'd be 50 years later, yo, that nigga OC, if OC would have lived, yo, that nigga would have took Nas spot. There wouldn't be no Nas if it was OC. And it's only because he's dead, because OC has been putting out quality hip-hop for the past 20 years, and y'all niggas don't pay it no mind. Y'all niggas don't bring his name up at all. But it's like when somebody dies, it's just like whatever you felt about that, just multiply that shit by 100. So if you fucked with Big L at a 50, multiply that shit. Now we off to the races, and he was the greatest MC ever, and blah, 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 blah. But nobody even talks about OC. who has 2 back-to-back 5 Mic Classic albums in my opinion, but that's a whole nother story. I got a Jay joint, but it's a Jay joint that a lot of people don't talk about. I got Jay on Brooklyn We Go Hard. That nigga says, I father, I Brooklyn Dodger them, I jack, I rob, I sin, I'm in, I'm Jackie Robinson, except when I run base, I dodge the pin. So when I first heard it, it didn't even click to me. And then I'm like, wait a second, I jack, I rob, I sin, I'm in, I'm Jackie Robinson. I'm like, come on, y'all. Come on. And this is off I forgot this was off like a movie soundtrack. Like a lot of niggas who swallow Jay don't even know about Brooklyn Go Hard. Like, but when I heard that, I was just like, and again, this is coming back in from the second verse. And I'm always talking about it's not just how you set your first verse off, how are you coming back in after the chorus. After you're done your chorus, we're back. It's kind of like the commercials. The chorus to us was almost like an 80s sitcom. It was like Martin. Like, okay, we're back from the commercial. What's the next scene? Is this scene gonna be fun? Your second verse has to set off. You're bringing us back from the chorus, which is the commercial break. Where are you going? And for Jay to come in with that, I was like, yo, that's crazy. And again, for a lot of Jay swallowers, they don't even talk about that song, which is crazy to me. So definitely got a Jay joint on there. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna just say another big one. And everybody knows one from Brooklyn's finest. If Faye had twins, she probably had 2 pops. Get it? 2 pops. Come on, man. The nigga take, again, no internet. Taking word of mouth rumors and flipping it into a double entendre. And in a lot of ways, neutralizing anybody who'll be like, Tupac fucked you. It just did all of that in the bar where I was like, wait, what big? What are you saying? Like, yo,
right.
Just a crazy line. It's humor. It's slick. It addresses shit. It did so much all in one or 2 bars or whatever that I was just like, that's crazy. This dude ain't gonna never be white. That's what I said at that point. Like, he'll never be white.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Right. And then again, man, it's like, yo, writing for Kim, Junior Mafia. Like, again, how do you just keep coming up with these bars? Like, how it's almost like it's a faucet. Like, nigga, we ain't gonna run out of water. You need more hits or whatever. It's whatever. Just keep the, so that's the other amazing thing about Big to me. Cal, what you got up next?
I'm going back to Queens. Screwball. Who shot Rudy? This is the title of the song. Who shot Rudy?
Wow, I forgot about that joint, man. Who shot Rudy?
He's like, who shot Rudy? Like, in broad daylight for cash. I woke up in the morning, heard the news flash. It said it happened down at City Hall. He had his wife with him. In chaos and pandemonium, blood covered all over the podium. Yo,
I forgot about that.
You guys the mayor at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For people watching, Rudy Giuliani, like Kel said, was the mayor. So yeah, I forgot about it. It's so funny. I hear Screwball, I automatically go to fuck all you bitch ass niggas. Like that was I'll never forget getting that in the station. I'm looking at the joint like, what's Fabian? Like, what's that stand for? And you put the needle on the records like, fuck all you bitch ass niggas. I'm like, oh, that's what Fabian stands for. Okay, good. And that Primo beat was just crazy, man. Like Screwball, man. That first Screwball got some joints. Shout out to my OG, a kid called Roots. Yeah, Kid Called Roots had 2 joints on that first Screwball album. Very dope album. Yeah, Roots got 2 joints on there. Yeah, Roots got 2 joints on that first joint. Ralph, what you got up next, bro?
I got Big Pun. That in the middle of Little Italy. Little did we know that we riddled some middleman who didn't do diddly. I mean, everybody know that joint, man. That was just that was crazy. That wordplay was crazy. Like, I was pressed to memorize that joint when it came out, yo. Like, when I first heard it, I said, I gotta memorize that. Yeah, so that was crazy. That's off the Deep Cover joint with him and Fat Joe.
Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out a way, and we're gonna talk offline, because partnering with the museum, I'm really trying to come up with a lot of different ways how we memorialize these MCs so that they're not. And Cal, I'm gonna definitely need you on this because you're great with the sports stuff and the sports records. But we have to come up with a way. Last week we were talking about, I don't want this 6-album run Nas to just go on and just blow away. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to find some type of way to really officially document these things. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we gonna talk about that more. But when I think about Pun, it's like, it's just sad because he was here for a moment. You know what I mean? And, you know, I don't hear people. I really want to do a test study with these Big L people, because I hate to keep coming back to this, but it's just people keep bringing up other MCs, and I'm like, Pun don't even get the love that Big L got. And Pun has the classic album. Like, how? Like, this is the part that trips me out. This is why the only reason why I keep coming back, because I'm like, I gotta stop trying to get things to make sense. Like, that's the problem. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm trying to get things to make sense, and it's not gonna make sense on Twitter. I apologize. I don't want to hold up the show, but yeah, that just blew me, because I'm like, wow, we don't even hear Big Pun's name as much as we hear Big L's name, and Big Pun had the classic album. Big Pun had the hits, plural, and we don't even hear his name, but we hear Big L's name. Okay, cool, got it. I'm gonna go back to '88. Rakim on Microphone Fiend. Number one, this is one of my favorite beats of all time. Everybody knows I love Paid in Full. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I was one of the few people, I didn't love Follow the Leader. I thought it was cool. Coming off of I Know You Got Soul, My Melody, all that shit, I was like, this is cool. This is cool. But when I heard Microphone Fiend, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. When that nigga says, back to the problem, I gotta have it. You can't solve it, you silly rabbit. Now, somebody watching is like, Kill, what? The fucking tricks, rabbit, always trying to get the tricks, and it was like, you silly rabbit. Trust me, I know in 2025, it's like, come on, Kill. In 1988, nigga, trust me, it was like, oh shit. And then the second part of, and after 12, I'm worse than the gremlin, feed me hip hop, and I start trembling. Again, I get it. 2025 doesn't sound incredible. 1988, Gremlins just came out. You know you don't feed a gremlin after midnight. After 12, I'm worse than a gremlin. Yo, again, the beat. Then to see the video in black and white, the little kid dancing.
Right, yeah.
That shit was a moment, y'all. That shit was a moment. So this is why I'm always talking about age. If you wasn't outside, you won't get it. You'll listen to Microphone Fiend and be like, oh, it's cool. It's cool, nigga? Nah. It's not. It's not cool, nigga. It's yeah. So that was one. And then
I think lyrically,
what happened?
I said it holds up today, I think. Still. You put that
It does, but I get it. Like I understand it's probably because I work with kids. So I'm always playing stuff for them. So I already know what, you know what I mean? So it's like, worse than a gremlin. That's whack, Mr. Kill. I could have wrote that. Nigga, not 1988, your ass couldn't. You know what I mean? So that's the point of it. Like, okay, I get it. And then I'm gonna go to, these are some of the people that I got that a lot of people don't talk about. Before I go there, I'm gonna go to Philly with Rel with Beans on Crew Love. We're in the production studio at EAA. I can't remember when's the first time I heard Beans. I can't remember if it was Adrenaline with the Roots. I can't remember if it was Crew Love. I don't remember the first time. I do remember hearing Crew Love. We put it on. It's off the Belly soundtrack. And it's like, okay, Bleak goes. And here comes fucking Beans. And open up the whole strip like Monopoly. And dare one of y'all to land on my property. Think you getting some dough in my community chest? Blow, two to your chest. You niggas can't pass go because it costs to pass. Y'all niggas cheap like Baltic Ave, the type to go to jail, can't play your. Yo, we just was like, yeah. Bro.
Who supply
you. Y'all just talk money. You trying to get down for this motherfucking boardwalk money. Like Blue 6 month. Oh my. Yo, we lost. You talk about grown men losing their shit in that studio. I had never heard anything like that. Because you think it sounds corny, like, yo, you talking about Monopoly, nigga, not the way Sigel talk about Monopoly. Because that nigga make it sound just like The Wire, nigga. So, yeah, Beans on Crew Love. Very slept on song, too. Belly soundtrack. Very slept on soundtrack. My joint on there is the joint with Sauce Money and Jay-Z. God, what is the name of that? Oh my God. Pre-game. Oh my God, that beat. Oh my God, Jay and Sauce. That is such a. Oh my God.
With your album Black is more Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Oh my God. Me and Jay, yo, I'm telling y'all. And the Jehovah Witnesses don't even know that joint. I be like pregame. They be like pregame, like nigga, how you a witness and you don't even fucking know pregame, nigga? We're about to get your fucking Bible revoked if you don't know these things. Babe, what you gonna say?
Hold up, I gotta say a bar from there that's also surprising from pregame when that nigga said, I like the motherfucking soundproof boof up. Do shit. Y'all stay the same shit like boofed up. God damn.
So, yeah,
like so crazy. Like, come on, man. The nigga was killing it.
Damn.
And the only thing I hate about that song is only one bar a piece from them. It was like, y'all gotta keep this shit going. Like, it almost felt like on Free when Jay be like, yo, keep going. Like, it's like, yo, keep going. Like, why y'all just stop right there? Yo, Source Money, man. We don't talk enough about Source. And I get it. I understand why. The album wasn't what it was. But, Kelv, I told you, Roots produced a whole album for Source. Let Me Hear It back in 97. It got shelved. It was everything we wanted. Any dream that you had of Source Money, that was the album. This was going to be Roots's, like, this is like, yo, this is where you get to meet a kid called Roots. He produced the whole album. The album is crazy. And I'm still trying to figure out, like, I just want to hear this shit again. Like, I don't even know if Roots still got it, but shit was crazy. Shit was crazy. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
I'm kind of gonna follow your lead because when you talk about the Beanie Sigel joint, I think what people need to understand, especially if you went to battle rap and a lot of these things are going over your head or whatever, what Beans was doing was what people would call a scheme. You know what I'm saying? Using the monopoly situation and tying that to the drug game in a way where it's not just talking about it's more about monopoly, but he's really bringing like the streets into it. So I have something similar going to the West Coast with Ice Cube, No Vaseline. And these particular bars struck me because as a fan of NWA, I was a fan of Ice Cube and MC Ren. And I'm like, oh, they about to go at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's about to be crazy. But hearing Ice Cube's scheme, I was like, I don't know if Ren could come back from this. So it was like, so don't believe what Ren say, because he going out like Kunta Kinte, but I got a whip for you, Toby. Used to be my homie, now you act like you don't know me. It's a case of divide and conquer, because you let a Jew break up my crew. House nigga gotta run and hide. Yelling Compton, but you moved to Riverside. So don't front MC Ren, because I remember when you drove a B210. I was like, yo, he just slaved this nigga out of the bag. He made him seem like somebody I never even thought of. Ren, like Toby and Kunta Kinte, like without calling him a slave. Those are bars. You know what I'm saying? He just led you to like Toby, bars and Jew, break up my crew, like all these different things to discredit one of the best MCs in hip hop history in MC Ren. So when I heard that, I could not believe it, because Ice Cube was my favorite, but this was NWA and he was dismantled. Right. And this is the nicest dude other than him in the group.
Yeah, Cube let it down like on that too.
Right, that was whacked out murals back then. Like Ren is gone. Ren out of here.
All right, so tell me this, because people have asked me this. What disc do you think is harder? KRS, The Bridge Is Over, which basically took out the Juice Crew, which was a crew, and basically made a borough damn near irrelevant for 4 years.
10 years.
Or Cube taking out all of NWA. Which one do you think is the bigger, like, catastrophe? I said the KRS just because he took out a crew and an entire borough. You know what I mean? And basically silenced that borough, like, until Nas popped back out. You know, but what do y'all think? What was the worst? What was worse?
I would say No Vaseline, because technically he took out Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't talking about Run and LL. They were all in Queens.
Right.
It was really those projects and anything coming out of that motherfucker. Trust me, I was there and they were dead. Like Like the whole shit was dead. But I think this was crazier because they never dropped an album after that.
They didn't drop Niggas for Life after that? Niggas for Life didn't drop after that?
It happened before. He was responding to Niggas
for Life. Okay.
After that, Dre left. But that's the thing, like, the song got in Dre's head, like, yeah, what the fuck Easy doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I didn't, my times are off, so I didn't realize that. I always thought that came after, but
yeah, remember when they was on Niggas for Life, they was like they gonna cut his head, but
right.
Vaseline, he said, cut my hand, I'll cut them balls or whatever the fuck he said.
Right.
But yeah, I think I always looked at it like that, but I think I don't know, I'm somewhere in the middle because you're right in a lot of ways, Kill, because MC Shan, like you said, his next album was actually good.
Dope.
Nobody cared.
His second album, Shan's album was dope. It's 88, it's Marley in 88. Like, you know what I mean? So if you like Kane, if you like Biz, but it's just like nobody was paying any attention after that. Like, it didn't even matter that because I think the assumption is most people don't even know he had an album after that, let alone that he had a dope album after that, and nobody even cared about it.
So let me change my pick then. Because when you think about it, okay, NWA didn't come out, but we still checked for Dre, we still checked for MC Ren and Easy, right? But nobody was checking for Shan or Queensbridge. So yeah, that's crazy.
It's almost like it was a nuclear bomb. Like they had to rebuild the projects. Like it almost was like, yo, that nigga tore it down. It's like, yo, we need about 4 or 5 years to repair. We gonna be back. You know what I mean? What you think, Ralph?
I was gonna say Cube until y'all start talking. Damn. So let me get this straight. So it was not until Nas came out that you heard anything from Queensbridge in between that time. That is insane.
I mean, like Phil said, Shan's album come out. I think you want to go Black Poet got an album. You want to that doesn't matter. There's people coming out of Queensbridge, but no one's checking. Yeah.
I think. And the hardest part too is it's also that time, because at that time once you lost the battle, you were done. Like you literally had to just pack up and be like, okay, what's my next? You know, what am I gonna do with my life? And I don't think people understood that then. You know what I mean? Now, if no Vaseline happened under the 88 rules, there's no Dre, there's no Snoop, there's no headphones, none of that stuff exists because nobody wants to hear from you. Like imagine what Cube did to NWA and then the Chronic dropping, and the Chronic is the Chronic, but we don't even give a fuck because you lost the Cube. Like, I'm not saying that Shan's album was the Chronic. I'm just saying it was a dope album, and people act like it didn't even exist. Like, that's how ruthless battles was back in the day. And again, I don't even think we knew it was that ruthless, Kel, because the battle before that was, the LL Mobb Deep, but Mobb Deep, to me, Mobb Deep phased himself out because he didn't really adapt to the new ways and the leather and the Star Trek shades and all those things. He didn't adapt. But I mean, I know a lot of people who love that Let's Go. Me and Tone joke about that all the time. He liked that licking lovers. I thought that shit was corny as hell. But people like that shit.
Yep,
so it's not like LL buried Mobb Deep. It was more so like Mobb Deep buried himself. LL beating him and Mobb Deep not keeping up with the times is what buried Mobb Deep. Shannon was just like nobody wanted to hear no more. Wanted to hear from him no more.
I think Mobb Deep's and LL was a mirror of what he did to Busy B.
Right.
The new guy and Busy was doing that type, and Mobb Deep got him, and it just happened to him. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like parallel. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Yeah, it's almost like the thing back in the day. It was like it was a kid. It was a book. It's like the big fish eats the little fish, then the bigger fish eats that fish, and then the whale eats the big. Like it's just that's just what comes. Cal, which one you got? No Vaseline or The Bridge Is Over?
It's funny. I think No Vaseline is the better diss record, but the impact. I mean, there's no question. I mean, Vegas right with Queensbridge, but even me living in Jamaica, Queens, we felt that impact too. I mean, like you said, Ron and L are still doing their thing, but it was still guilty by association. You saw it, people like, oh, they hit a record. You know, like, no, Queensbridge is whack. You know, Queens is faking it. Yeah, I hear it all the time. You know, so it didn't matter.
And that was the thing. That was the thing for me. Being from Philly and listening, it was like I felt like Queens was there because it was like, you know, Manhattan keeps on Brooklyn, Queens keeps on faking it. You know, I didn't hear a peep from a place called Queens. You know what I mean? So it was almost just like, damn, like the whole borough. We gonna say, Ralph?
It's so funny. I heard Nori talk about he was locked up and he said like they used to be like Queens. They used to like do that to him when he was locked up, and they had to always fight because people thought they were sweet because of that.
And the thing was is that
this record birthed somebody in the 90s,
Yeah.
And the thing was, the people who were still coming out of Queens, like, Soup and Rud, a lot of people didn't know they was Queens. You know what I mean? So Queens acts was still coming out, but they weren't like repping Queens. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know. I mean, I guess some people would say Queens here and there, but you didn't know Kid and Play was from Queens when you saw it. You know what I mean? Where it's like you knew. Right. So when Nas came back out, this was the first time that it was like, nah, nigga, Queensbridge. Like now it was like, you know what I'm saying? So that, crazy, man. Crazy this. Rel, what you got up next?
I'm gonna go. I got a couple Nas joints, of course. So of course, Live at the Barbecue. We ain't gotta even,
Yeah. We talked about that. We're gonna talk about at the end. Was that the craziest line ever? And if not, what was for you?
Okay, and then I got on Life's a Bitch where, AZ's verse is so crazy that Nas' verse kind of get overlooked. But when he was like, I woke up early on my born day, I'm 20, it's a blessing, the essence of adolescence, leave my body now fresh. Like, that was crazy. And the buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. That was, like, who's thinking of that?
Who's thinking of that?
How old was he? 19? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's, and on Silent Murder, I don't know why, he was like, it's like Silent Murder. I hit blunts hard like Ray Mercer, the violent words of a prince in the palace of Persia. Like, what? Crazy. So yeah, I just had to do a couple Nas joints. I could go on for days with Nas.
Nah. We were talking about how Nas just got so many. You know what I mean? So these are some of my ones that a lot of people may not talk about or bring up. I got Stove God on Lava Lane. This nigga says 50 Shades whipping that white hoe. Eyes closed. Bird box, nigga. The birds came in boxes, nigga. You gonna have to stand on a bird's back to box me, nigga. That's the only way your punch is gonna reach God. And I was sitting with Naomi, and I said, Naomi, let me explain to you why this is so crazy. 50 Shades whipping that white hoe. So you got 50 Shades of Black or whatever that shit was called.
Right.
But the white hoe is great. I don't watch the Marlon Wayans one, 50 Shades of Black. That's a crazy joint too. I think Marlon, I don't even gonna say that. We gonna keep it clean. Whipping that white hoe. Eyes closed. So I'm like, 50 Shades of Grey, whipping that white hoe, but not that hoe. The white hoe of cocaine. And I'm so nice, I could whip it, eyes closed. Bird Box. The movie on Netflix where you had to cover your eyes. Bird Box, the birds came in boxes, nigga. You gonna have to stand on a bird's back. Now I'm visualizing this. Like, if you wanna fuck with Stove God, you gonna have to fucking wait for a pigeon to fly by your building, jump on the pigeon's back, balance yourself on this nigga's back to box this nigga. That's the only way your punch is gonna reach God. So to even fuck with me, you gonna have to stand on a bird's back to box me, nigga. I can't tell you how many times I rewound that line like, yo, this nigga, and he says it a lot that he's an alien. This nigga Stove God, when he's on, he is a fucking alien. This stuff, he said something like, I got shot moving like Bloody Divac, and not moving like Nikolai Volkov. I said, this. It's almost like, nigga, are we just throwing words in the air like Nikolai Volkov? Who the fuck talks about Nikolai Volkov? Not Nikita Koloff. not his Uncle Ivan, not Uncle Ivan.
Right.
We're gonna go back to the WWF. Yeah, we're gonna go to Nikolai Volkov and the goddamn Iron Sheik. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's we going back to Captain Lou Albano.
Right.
With the Cyndi Lauper video off the Goonies when they were in the video with Nikolai Volkov in the Iron Sheik. The nigga's a fucking alien. He's just an alien. So, and there's so many. He says something else about I'm gonna have my shooters write my name in cursive on the side of your Jetta. And I'm like, imagine that. Your shooters are so precise that they are going to fucking write Stove Guy in cursive with bullets. Who thinks I'm gonna have my shooters write my name in cursive across the side of your Jetta?
A Jetta, by the way.
Jetta.
Right.
What's he talking about? What's his face? Emerald.
Oh, that I have that one too. Since you want to go there, we got it right there on Jose Canseco. It's right there on Jose Canseco. Me and Emerald Gassi should be the next verses. Two stoves side by side. I bet I work them. Yeah, the craziest thing about that bar was I was like, well, who's Emerald Gassi? Never heard of this guy. I Googled the nigga. The nigga fucking sells stoves on fucking ETV or whatever. I'm like, I quit. Yeah, this nigga doesn't want to do a verses with Pusha T or Benny the Butcher, another cocaine rapper. We don't need to do it. I need to do a verses with the nigga who's a stove expert. That's who I need to do the next verses with. That's who it is. Jose Canseco. Everybody, I'm sorry if we're not saying Jose Canseco was on the West Side Gun album. Check that out. Me and Emerald Gassi should be the next verses. The nigga said, my nigga fresh home drinking coffee out the Kirk, 144 months ain't break his spirit. He jumped back in. I tried to prepare him. He good. He an old brave nigga. He Hank Aaron. He good. He an old brave nigga. He Hank Aaron.
That's fine.
God bless the dead to Hank Aaron.
Right.
For people who may not know Hank Aaron, he played for the Braves. He's an old nigga.
That's funny.
I can't. He's a fucking alien. Vague, what you got up next, bro?
Damn, well, I got some simple shit. When I was a kid and shit. But when I heard Slick Rick on Lottie Dottie say, and with your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover. I was like, damn, pussy be wrinkled? Because I was young, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, when you young, anything is your gateway into finding out. You know what I'm saying? But when Slick Rick said that, I was like, because first of all, I didn't even think rappers said shit like that in their rhymes. Because, you know, you wasn't used to, I mean, again, like Bill said, 2025, you like, so. But back then, Slick Rick just sing songy that shit. And that shit was being played at block parties and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, damn, I wonder who got that. That was one of the
what was the other song on Great Adventures when he's singing like your pussy's singing Indian?
Oh, you talking about oh god, not David? Yeah, fuck. I gotta look it up, Kel. You know,
yeah. Well, same thing, like saying this shit in '88.
And that's another thing about Lottie Dottie, where it's 85, and people gotta realize again, the youth. We don't have headphones. We don't have Beat by Dre's. We don't have AirPods. If you want to play a song, you have to play it on the family stereo system. So everybody has to hear with your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover. So this is where you have to wait till your mom leaves. This is where you have to find somebody. For me, I had to go over my man Classic's house, who lived across the street, his older brother Wall. I had to go to my man Frank's house with his older brother Kev. Like, you couldn't just listen to what you wanted to listen to, because whatever you listened to, the whole house was going to hear it. Your grandmother was going to hear it. Your mother was going to hear it. So again, that, oh man, Vague, you're bugging. Thinking about that, it makes me think about on Super Ho, when KRS said, it's not his fault, he'll give you Vaseline. I'm 12. I'm like, the fuck does he need Vaseline for? Right. I'm so confused. What are we using Vaseline for? What does this have to do? Yeah, he's a super hoe and he gets all the girls, but Why does he need Vaseline? You know what I mean? And it again, what I miss, and I really think that this plays a part into how much we care about hip hop. There was an innocence with us that this generation doesn't have. You know what I mean? So there's a bond that we have with music that I don't think this generation can have, just because when I heard Talk Like Sex by Kool G Rap,
I was just about to bring that up.
That was my sex education. Okay, my parents didn't sit me down and say, "Hey, these are the birds and the bees." My dad tried. I was like, "Dad, I know all that shit. Come on, stop." You know, and he was supposed to say, "Oh, you do? Well, tell me what you know." That nigga felt as nervous as I was, and that nigga said, "Okay, good." And we turned on the TV, and I ain't know nothing. So there's a certain bond that I have with G Rap and Talk Like Sex, because, like you said, Veg, at a point when you're young, this is the only way we were learning things. This generation doesn't have to go to hip hop to learn things. They got Google, they got Siri, they got Chat GPT, they got everything. So it's just also another certain level of innocence that we had growing up with this music. To me, that this is a testament of why we love it, care about it. You know, niggas be like, "Yo, why you always trying to protect hip hop?" Nigga, that's my fucking job, goddammit. What you mean? Like, that's what we're supposed to do. You protect shit that you love. You know, why you always give somebody say this and this wrong? Why you correct, motherfucker? Because that's what we supposed to do. I have dealt with this for long enough. One of my homeboys was like, one of my old heads was like, "Kill you the elder now," and I was like, "I don't want to be the elder. I'm the young boy. I'm 50, still talking about I want to be the young boy." Like, nah, nigga, you the OG now. So again, but I'm with you, Meg. Like those, and I miss those days, man. I miss those days of having to. It's crazy then, but to look back and be like, yo, we used to have to sneak to listen to hip hop. We had to sneak to stay up late at night to watch Friday night videos. I had a black and white TV, and with the black and white TV, I just turn the volume down, and you could turn the tint down so the screen will look black, so my mom wouldn't see it. It's like we had to do so much for hip hop that it's almost just like, and these kids don't have to do it. So Kel, what you got up next, bro?
Like the Queens, Pharoahe. This is Rapid Eye Movement. So I got two. Pharoahe and Black Thought. Pharoahe goes, "I become emotionally desensitized. Like once I slapped the rapper with mace. Then I spit acid in his face after he rinsed his eyes. No wait, actually grew 5 times my size, grabbed mace by the thigh and slapped the rapper with it. Then I was practicing sacrilegious activism, tactics for the battle, and practical rap with wisdom." I'm like, just the wordplay, mace, the spray, mace the rapper. I mean, it's crazy. And then Black Thought. "Take stock in the soul, spit properly. That extended clip on my hip sits awkwardly. I'm diabolical, follicle triggers that I cock and squeeze. Sending shots to ancient Greece to pop Socrates. I bear arms like button downs without the sleeves. Manic depressive, and possessive like apostrophes." I'm like, damn.
And possessive like apostrophe.
Apostrophe. So I'm like English. I'm like, yeah, apostrophe. Yes, possessive. Yeah, when you're. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this crazy.
Man, shit. Well, what you got, man?
Yeah, I got two. One from AZ.
Let me see if you got the same joint I got.
How slick as hell, slicker than sickle cell anemia. Hope the story like leukemia. Yeah. That whole song.
Yeah, and even the end with "Filled with larceny, who want parts of me, I'm vicious, mad, malicious, because it's real on this road to riches." But that I had the same line.
Yeah, that song, I could have picked a couple of things from that song, but that part stood out. And then I got J Electronica, which is another song. I could have picked a couple of lines, but so me and Kill are all from Philly. Contrary to popular belief, everybody from Philly is not a Muslim, right? However, there's a large contingent of people of the Islamic faith in Philly. So when J Electronica said, "They call me J Electronica, fuck that, call me J Elect Hanukkah, J Elect Yamaka, J Elect Tramadan Muhammad Assalamaka, Wasudu La Sapana, Wasa Allah through your monitor," I'm like, yo, what is that? Like,
I quit.
What do you say? Like, come on, bro. I mean, when I first heard it, I said, "Oh, this dude about to be the greatest." You couldn't like what? And then he shouted out Philly, and then like I was on Cecil B, Broad Street, Taz, North Philly, South Philly, 23rd. Taz. I said, oh shit! I said, yo, who is this nigga?
Yo, bro, for a minute I was like, yo, is this nigga from Philly? Like, oh man, like nigga, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't paying attention to the beginning with the down south part when he says he's from New Orleans, but I just heard that shit.
I went to see him in concert, right, at Union Transfer in Philly, and I got the story of his Philly. He was homeless in Philly, like living on the street, and he had like some of his friends and people he got cool with, and the people that kind of turned him on to his faith or whatever. They were at the concert or whatever. So that was his connection with Philly. Like he was living in Philly on the streets, homeless. But yeah, Exhibit C, crazy.
Yeah. To me, easily one of the greatest songs of the past 24 years. Like easily one of the greatest songs of the past 24 years. I'm gonna tag off of the Kel with Black Thought. Rel was already in Philly, and I'm gonna go with Black Thought on Push Up Your Lighter. And this is really just a Philadelphia bar, because I don't think anybody else even knows what he's talking about.
I know
when that nigga said Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on. If I ain't whipping the land throughout your section, my mom's in trauma 9 times out of 10. I rhyme up on the L train. Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is our bus company called Cipher.
Yeah.
And on the back of every bus it says that. You know what I mean? The average person in Philly don't even know what Cipher stands for. So and again, this is where I'm like, why did you do it? Did someone dare you? Like, I feel like that's a dare. Like, I bet you can't put Scepter in a rhyme, because why else would you think about that? Then it was also crazy because you would sometimes see Thought or somebody in the Roots whipping a Land Cruiser, because they did some Martin shit. Like, all these niggas brought a Land Cruiser. Like, all of them. Okay? It's not like they all brought the Land Cruiser. So you never knew. And people don't know, Thought is mad short. He's like 5'7". You know what I mean? So Land Cruisers is big. So it just spoke to everything about me as a Philly nigga at that time, that I was like literally blown. Like, yo, did this nigga just say Southeastern Pennsylvania? And then the way, and this is why I always say that, who was it? Was it me and my man Iron was talking, because he said he feels like Black Thought is at his prime right now. In my opinion, Black Thought's prime to me was Philadelphia and Things Fall Apart. That was my favorite Black Thought, because he would say things like, you know, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. Like, he would change his words. He would make words sound differently to fit into the rhyme scheme. So I think Thought is still nasty as hell right now. He hasn't fallen off. But if you tell me what is prime Black Thought, I'm going to tell you 96 to 98 Black Thought to me is prime Black Thought. But yeah, love that joint. Vay, what you got left, bro? Oh, I'm sorry, Kel, were you about to say something?
No, go.
All right, what you got, Vay?
Yeah, I kind of been freestyling the last couple, so I only had 5. But
all right, my bad.
Throw another big in there that I had as a potential. When I heard him on shout out to Tracy Lee, when I heard him on Keep Your Hands High off the Many Faces album.
Oh boy.
When he said, like, there's so many quotables in his verses, but first when he said this, I was like, damn, why you say that about hip hop? But when you hear it, you know, it sounds crazy. But he started it as, I got a new mouth to feed. I'm due south for keys. Y'all pick seeds out your weed. I watch cowards bleed. Motherfucker, please. It's my block and my rocks. Fuck that hip hop. The 1, 2, the single don't stop. Me and my nigga Lance to Kim and C's advance. 10 bricks, 4 pounds of weed plants. I was like, yo, so this nigga was getting better. Because he wasn't rapping like that on any of his albums.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, you know, sure, there's the crack talk and all that, but it's also him saying fuck hip hop. And I never heard, I mean, I know people probably did it, but I never heard nobody talking about, like, took Kim and C's advance, bought 10 bricks, 4 pounds of weed plants, we lamping, 12 mansion, like, come on. Bitch, and then don't get me into the singles when you start talking about bitches get naked. Nah, let me just... But I was just blown away by it because the rhyme scheme, you know, like it was technical for Big, but Big was technical. He just didn't appear technical because of his flow. But that right there, I was like, nah, that's all kinds of layers of fucking flag talk and everything. So
that dude was insane. That dude was insane.
And shout out to Tracy Lee, because you know back then, yeah, I'm trying to be making up shit. But back then, I didn't even want to hear him because Big had just died. I'm just like, yo, just get to the big bars. But Tracy Lee first verse on that shit is fucking crazy. So when you hear him talking about he went toe to toe with Big and you thinking about status, nah, listen to what he's saying. I was like, what he say? Trade a terrible, like that nigga was getting busy on that shit. And I just at that point in time, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, Big just passed. I'm in mourning. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear shit out. You know, but crazy song and crazy verses from Big. You know, after he passed.
I think the craziest thing about that to me is it's a two-ply. It's Big. That could be one of Big's dopest verses. You know, on basically a new artist album. You know what I mean? He didn't save that shit for Jay or save that shit. You know what I mean? So it's also the respect he had, and Trey tells the story of how, like, you know, Big kind of co-signed Trey for him to get signed to Universal, and everything like that. So yeah, I've always said that it's not just because it's some Philly shit. I said this before I even knew Trey personally, but nigga went toe to toe with him, and the only other people who went toe to toe with Big was Jay and Meth. You know what I mean? So that's to be in good company. You know what I mean? So, you know, very dope joint. What you got left, Cal?
Got one left. This is MOP. This again. This is actually it's not MOP. I should say this is Lil Fame and Terminology Physiology album.
Okay.
Lil Fame goes, make a nigga blackout, do stickers and robberies, fuck around and break into your own crib, steal your own shit. Because you every time I put out the records I make. Motherfuckers go bananas like this was Planet of the Apes. I'm a WAR 2 times IOR. Beat you with a crowbar. Send you to the OR. Just the uniqueness of, you know, Lil Fame's, you know, delivery. This kind of always struck me, and you know, obviously this crazy thing he says.
You know, the funny thing about MOP, and I never get this because I'm always intrigued by things. I felt like, what happened? Like, Warriors came out, Ante Up is their biggest hit, and I just felt like after that, like, nobody cared anymore about MOP. Like, maybe when we do an episode of 2000 and we're looking at maybe the tides are turning or what, but it's just like, how did they go from this group that from the second album with Premier to First Family for Life, like, I mean, after the Warriors album, I felt like the sky's is the limit. You know what I mean? Like, Annie's Up is everywhere, and it kind of just like, I don't know what really happened to them, but it kind of is like they literally kind of just disappeared. You know what I mean?
G Unit, and then they went to
right. They were on G Uniform and they left, and they were on. I forgot which came first. They were on Rockefeller and they were on G Unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like they disappeared, bro. But yeah, Fame and Billy always had some shit on that. You know what I mean? And it's like they never fell off. Right. So what happened? But all right, bro, what you got up left, bro?
I got 2 left. One from Big, one from Inspector Death. But piggybacking on what y'all was saying on Big, he gave this verse to Shaq. Okay. Shaquille O'Neal. And the second verse, both verses are crazy. Second verse, like, he just floated. A lime to a lemon, my DC women bringing in 10 G's a minimum to condos with elevators in them, vehicles with televisions in them. Watch my entourage turn yours to just mirages. Disappearing acts, strictly 9s and max. Killers be serial. Copperfield material. My dreams is vivid. Work hard to live it. Any place I visit, I got land there. I could play a stand there and say I sound like him. Hello. Push wigs back and push 6 coops that's mellow. Bust clips that extend from hand to elbow. Spray up your days in, any teller you win. Crack bagging, sick of bragging how my mink be dragging. Desert East, street sweepers inside the beaming wagon. I rely on best side to shut it down if I die. Put that on a diamond bezel. You messing with the devil. Why? Yeah. Bloated.
Niggas just be like, yo, the big was simplistic. Are you serious?
You can't do that,
bro.
No.
Whoever said that?
Who said that? Who said that?
Rapper can't do that.
Crazy.
Your favorite rapper can't do that.
No.
That you can't do that. And he gave that to Shaq. You understand?
The funny thing that you bring up Shaq, because somebody asked me the other day, they was like, yo, you remember this joint? It was a basketball compilation of rappers and producers. I said, yeah, B-Ball's best kept secret. I was like, on the low, Dana Barrows, who used to hoop for the Sixers, had a joint on there that was actually pretty dope. Then they started talking about Shaq. He was like, yo, why was niggas fucking with Shaq? I was like, yo, you gotta understand the time. Shaq was a fucking man. Shaq had money. Like, Shaq tell you, like, yo, fly you down to Orlando. Let's do some jet skis. We gonna do an album. You gonna be balling out with all the niggas you watch on TV. Nigga, you would have been doing shit with Shaq too.
Man,
you know what I mean? Like,
that check was crazy. You'd be a
right.
fool.
Yeah. He was with Biggie, Jay, and Nas.
You'd be a fool.
Right.
He got songs with Big J, Nas, Wu-Tang. Produced by Eric Sermon, RZA. Hey, come on, man.
It's like, and I'm trying to get niggas to understand. You gotta understand it in these days. Like, yo, imagine if Michael Jordan called you up to fucking you. And keeping in mind, people don't understand that this is hip hop still growing. We're not even at 95 yet. You know what I mean? So niggas is still. Tip is still living in his mom's crib. You know, niggas is not balling like this. Ain't MTV Cribs yet. So. Nigga, if a millionaire call you to want to go do a song with you, nigga, and you gonna fly me down, I ain't never been to Orlando, I ain't never been on no jet skis, I ain't never been to no NBA club, like, nigga, you would be there too. So that's why niggas was like niggas was selling themselves out. No, they wasn't, nigga. Nah. Niggas was trying to have some fucking fun. Half these niggas ain't never been out of New York, out of Philly, you know, they been on tours, but to be going with hanging with Shaq and Dennis Scott, Kelvin, I don't know if you know, Dennis Scott had 3D Entertainment. That's who Roots was working for. That's how Roots started to get on. Because he was working for Dennis Scott. Yeah, Dennis Scott had an entertainment company. Yeah, so like they was getting into the music like that. So again, you dog, like if LeBron call you, you think if LeBron called me for a beat, I ain't flying to LA, nigga? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, but I think people just looking like Shaq was corny, he couldn't rap, nigga. Them Shaq's rap. That's who rap. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's what it's about. So, and bro, what was the other joint? You said you had Big and who else?
One was Inspector Deck. This is when he was in his, like, he was the hottest thing smoking after, you know, Triumph and all that. This is on Above the Clouds, and he was like, I leave scientists mentally scarred, triple extra large, wild like rock stars who smash guitars, poison bars from the guards, bust holes in your mirage, and charge shake them down like the riot squad. Invade your zone, ruin like ancient Rome. I span the universe to return to earth to claim my throne. The maker, owner, plus soul controller. The Ayatollah rests in the sky, the clouds my sofa. Come on, bro. He was going crazy. He was going crazy. That was around when, you know, I think he was on Pete. He was on Pete joint. You know, he was on this.
With Crop, yeah.
That was, yeah. So that's my last one.
The funny thing about that, I remember Preem saying they was in the studio and Deck asked Google, like, yo, what's this rhyme about? And Google just told him the mental. And Deck was like, all right, and just wrote that shit. And that's what I mean. Maybe y'all MCs speak another language, because nigga, the mental. Well, motherfucker, what you mean? Like, what you mean, right? You know what I mean? We're just like, oh, the mental, bet. And then you come back with that? Like, y'all obviously got a language. Y'all speak a language that I'm not privy to. Because I would have had some more questions about, okay, you want to expand? Like, what else? You know, but for him to come back with that,
Remember, this is the 90s, man. Niggas thought everybody thought they were Professor X. Niggas taking pictures and shit like this. You know what I'm saying? They album
Right.
like,
Everybody wants
a nigga like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna go, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right. Yo, that's crazy. The ones I got left are a couple of joints I want to shout out for people out there watching, joints you may not have heard of, but definitely check for. Benny the Butcher on Bullet Club. Number one, Bullet Club is on this Conway joint right here. Go probably either this or Reject 2. It's my favorite Conway joint. Benny says, you see this paper can change a nigga demeanor. I seen it take dreamers and make them into believers. Have you sipping Ace, pulling up like Ace in the Beamer. But first you gotta relate to the Ace in the cleaners. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh. And paid him full Ace. Have you pulling up like Ace in the Beamer, but first you gotta relate to the Ace in the cleaners.
Yeah.
Woo. Another one, Crooked Eye. This is from that joint, the mixtape Slaughterhouse that they had. It's a joint called Suck a Nigga with Freeway. This nigga says, what happens when you're seeming don't unleash the streets, you raise your heat, ready to go ham like Lincoln Abra. Abra, I know the stripper who's talking to this nigga who's talking while he tipped her. So the part that killed me is when he says, you raise your heat, ready to go ham like Lincoln Abra. So Abraham Lincoln. But then he comes back with the other bar with Abra. I was talking to the stripper who's talking to this nigga, and I was just like, yo. God, like, yo, again, what are you thinking? You about to raise your heat, ready to go ham like Lincoln Abra? Like, why would you even think Lincoln Abra? Never in my life have I even thought Lincoln Abra. I didn't know what he was talking about when I first heard it. Like, what is Lincoln Abra? And it was like, oh, you gotta put the ham. It's almost like a puzzle, like connecting the dots, like, you know what I mean? Like a word search almost. Like, that was crazy. Ransom on JD's Revenge. He said, me and my shooters are like brothers. He knew what I was blinking. Run up on you in your booth. Treat your medulla like it's Lincoln. So run up on you in your booth. Treat your medulla like it's Lincoln. Booth shooting Lincoln. And then my last one, Pusha T. Off this song called Blow. Help my young bitch get her way through her bachelor's. Sent my old bitch right back to get her master's. Same graduation. I was clapping in the rafters. I can visualize Push giving his young shorty money to go to college, giving his old John money to go get your master's, and I'm gonna be at the graduation. I'll be up in the rafters. Y'all can't even see me, but I'm clapping like shit for both of y'all, bro. So again, everybody watching, these are just some crazy bars. If you don't know them, please go dive into them. Go listen to the songs. And like you said, a lot of these songs that we're saying, we're only picking, because I asked people just to pick a couple of lines, not the whole entire bar. So you heard us a lot of times. A lot of the lines that we have, there's still multiple other quotables throughout them. You know what I mean? So definitely go do that. Kel, where can they get at you, good brother?
IG Big Kel.
All right, that's it?
That's it.
Yeah. All right, no doubt. Kelp, are you still looking for people to mentor people with Morgan?
Yep, I am.
What are you looking for?
The all majors, pretty much. You know, we got students. We got like 40 students: biology, engineering, chemistry, nursing. So if you want to mentor these kids and the students trying to come up, get at me, IG or email, so I can put up an email as well and do that as well.
All right, so that's the thing, y'all. Now, I always talk about it on the timeline on my Twitter. You know, we got to give back, y'all. We have to. You know, especially if you're in some of these fields. Not too many people do it by themselves. You know, so even if you didn't have a mentor, prayerfully someone was in your life to help guide you. I beseech you. Y'all know if I get religious and use biblical words, I'm serious. I beseech you to take some time. Reach out to Kelp and see how you can help mentor our next generation. How we can make sure that these young black kids are having not only a successful time in college, but successful career in life. You know what I mean? We make time for everything else. Y'all make time for the gram. Y'all make time to go happy hour. I hang with enough black people. I know y'all make time for shit. make some time to give back some people who look just like you who may need your help. So definitely get with Kelv on that. Rel, where can they get at you, good brother?
Uptown Rel 215 on the gram, JBen215 on Twitter. Oh, I gotta send you. I got a couple of cheesesteak places we gotta go to bro.
Yes, sir.
I went to one in Alexandria. I ain't gonna lie. It's official.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Because every time somebody send me over that goddamn bridge, it's never good. I've never had nothing good in Alexandria.
I was skeptical, man. I was real skeptical, yo. Like, but it was pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. So yeah, we gotta make those moves, man. There's a couple spots we gotta hit up, man. Get back on it, and then when we gotta go to Philly too, because I
gotta check that new spot.
Shades, yeah, we gotta check Shades out. Yeah.
What spot is that?
What, in Philly?
Yeah,
it's called Shades Steaks. Parking's horrible though. It's like downtown somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I went on a humble.
I was in Philly past. I went to Uncle Gus's in Red and Turban.
You went? How was it?
Real good.
Nah, I heard real good.
Good things.
I want to go. For people who may not know, me, Rel, and my man Gadget got a cheesesteak review show called Philadelphia Steak Life. So if you think the same way we talk about hip hop, we talk about cheesesteaks. So, and we get deep with this. When you from Philly, it gets deep. So, Cal, what's happening is a lot of spots in Philly, they're now biting what South Philly is doing. So what they're doing now is coming with the seated rolls. And back in the day, there were no spots in downtown Philly. If you said, yo, we going this cheesesteak spot in downtown Philly, nigga, whatever. I'm not going.
Yeah, whatever.
And what's happening now is they're starting to bring a lot of that. They got the cheesesteak bar I went to when I was in Philly. Joints is good. So a lot of the joints in Philly are just really taking that formula of what mom and pop spots are doing and now trying to bring it, to the city and everything like that. So that's what the spot Shades is and everything like that. But yeah, we got some joints. So tap into Philadelphia Steak Life. Gadget just posted an old one from Record Store Day that kind of was just sitting on ice. The cheesesteaks was whack. It was the spot Continental Pizza. We only went because it was Record Store Day, my man. Porter, Maine has a record store out in Kensington, Maryland. We love records. Check it out if you're ever in Kensington, Maryland. And we was like, let's just go to a spot. We just Googled cheesesteaks. We went to the spot. It was fucking horrible, but really dope conversation between me and my man DJ Iran. Very dope conversations. We were talking about he believes Primo and Pete should get as much love as Dilla does when they pass away. I don't think they'll get as much love as Dilla when they pass away, but I talk about why I don't think they'll get enough love. We talk about stands. We talk about a whole bunch of shit. So the cheesesteaks are whack, but the conversations are real dope on that. Well, the album, we still pushing this, bro.
Sir, it's not you, it's me. That's the album. It's out on all your streaming platforms, and it's on my Bandcamp as well. If you want to support Jarrell215.bandcamp.com, if you want to support, but give it a listen, man. Got my man Vegas on there. It's totally produced by Kill again, and to me, one of the top albums that came out this year. You know what I'm saying? And it's something for everybody on there. You know what I mean? I wanted to do something that was like a little different than what I was doing before. So it's just an album about all types of relationships. You know what I'm saying? Not just you and your girl, but family, friendships, betrayal, stuff like that. So it touches on all those topics. So yeah, it came out how I wanted it to. Me, Kill, and JR brainstormed with it and picked out the beats and the concepts, and it came out perfect the way I wanted it. So we still pushing it. You know what I mean?
Yep. So tap into that. Vague, where can they get at you, bro?
All right, you can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. You can also check out my podcast, which is also available on YouTube. Hip Hop Now podcast is news and perspectives. Got the first show of 2025 coming up. Shout out to everybody who subscribed. Hit 1,600 subscribers. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna keep doing that shit because the youngins are just like, I like this video, subscribe. I'm like, oh, that's great. Okay. And also, me and Kill put all of our music on every music platform Christmas Day. So if you want to check out 6 projects that we did from 14 years of making music together, everything's there. You can really go through our discography, see our growth, see the different inspirations, concepts, album covers, all of that, including our last project last year, Bed-Stuy Vintage, featuring homie Rel and my man Woods on that joint. And January 31st, 2025, Bed-Stuy Vintage BTS, 5 songs that weren't on the album. So we're not gonna make a deluxe and just throw it on Bed-Stuy Vintage and say, here's more. It's a separate EP. The lead single off that joint is Song For You 2. And I just gotta say, I think I'm getting better. I ain't gonna front. I think I'm getting a little better, you know, because I don't really brag about my own shit, but if you hit my bars on there and you don't like it, you don't like hip hop. I'm sorry. You just don't.
There you go. There you go.
Phil got busy with the beat because I was sneaking around his Twitter. And you know how you press the button and shit, and you gotta watch all the toys. I mean the action figures shit. And I heard that beat, and I go right to Kill, like, yo, who anybody asked for this?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we made magic with that joint, and that song is a sequel to a song that me and Kill both love that we did off our second project called You're All Welcome, called Song For You. And I was like, what if I just flip it and make it a little bit harder edge? So if you listen to the first one, especially when you listen to this one, it's sort of like it's refined. We haven't regressed. So yeah, that'll be available at the end of the month on all platforms, including Vegas World, inc.bandcamp.com.
All right, no doubt. You already know this with me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Y'all know, again, the bookworm in me. For a lot of people, you got to do the knowledge, okay? You got to go back. You got to dig. No half-stepping. This book by Paradise Gray. Paradise Gray was in the group called X-Clan. If you don't know who X-Clan is, Google is your friend. But this book talks about the infamous nightclub in New York, the Latin Quarters. So when we're talking about performances, when we're somebody said something about 50 Cent's Vegas residency and how it was bad, and they kind of just showed him just doing the same move with his hand, like just all the show. And the shorty was like, well, would you expect him to dance? Yes. Well, no, I don't expect 50 to dance, but I come from an era where people perform. You can't stand on stage and do this for 2 hours through 14 songs. No. So this is the perfect book to dig into, to really see it. You get to see some of the history. You got Rick Rubin and DMC at the Latin Quarters. I mean, these are some of the pictures. I mean, look at a young Chuck D at the Latin Quarters. I mean, like, this is, you know, I always tell people, you say you love this culture, you gotta do the homework. You gotta do the homework, y'all. So here's the homework assignment. No half-stepping. Amazon, cop it. Check it out. Talk to us about it on Twitter. You know, one of the big things we're gonna be doing with the Hip Hop Museum here in DC, we want this to be interactive. So again, July 25th. July. Why do I keep saying July? Something good gonna happen July 25th, y'all. I don't know what it is, but I may have to play that number or something. January 25th, 2 to 5 p.m. Rel's in the building, JR's in the building, Trey's in the building, Grap Lover, my man DJ Iron. We're going to be talking about what 12 albums from 1988 to 1992 make your hip-hop Bible. This is an interactive panel, so it's not just us. We want to talk with the audience, be part of the thing, and again, we're going to be building this out every month, so it's a great partnership. So definitely tap in with them too. National Hip Hop Museum. It's on Instagram. I can't tell you all the great things they did. I'm still salty to this day. They just did a 40th anniversary of Beach Street here. Everybody was there. Lee, Ramo, Treacherous 3, everybody from the movie, but like Ray Dawn Chong was there. I'm so sorry I missed it. We were flying back in from LA, but they're doing some incredible stuff. We just happy to be a part of it. I will check y'all next week, good peoples.